Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. So I finally got around to one of my most anticipated films of this year, and it's Predator Badlands, and it's directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who previously directed Prey, and then he directed the anthology film of the animated film that was streaming on Hulu called Predator Killer of Killers. And I really enjoyed both of those movies so much because back before Disney bought Fox, I've already said this before when I did trailer reactions to the Badlands, that the franchise was dying, especially the Alien franchise. But when Disney bought Fox, they bought the rights to these characters, and now they were able to revive the franchise, starting with Prey, which was originally on streaming, and they made a mistake by not putting it out in the theatrical release because they didn't know how big of a success it could have been if they put this out in theaters. It was so successful on Hulu, and Dan Trachtenberg was able to give us something special about bringing back to what made the Predator franchise so special about the original film in the first place, expanding the lore, expanding the characters, making it as a self-contained story, but at the same time it's still a continuation. And then you had Alien Romulus, that was Vinny Alvarez, and also brought back to why we love the Alien franchise. And when we watched the trailers of Predator Badlands, Elle Fanny's character, who is an android that was incorporated by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, they definitely made this part of the canon, and it looks like that they have an idea to expand into make this as a part of the shared universe with the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise. And I'm someone who has really loved the original Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I really did not like Predator 2 as much, like the one with Danny Glover, and I thought Predators with Adrian Brody was very underrated, and it's a movie that got forgotten and nobody talks about it. Then Shane Black did the Predator, the Predator with Shane Black, and I thought it was completely horrendous. And at that point, we thought that franchise was going to die. But thank God that when Disney bought Fox, that they were able to get this back and actually give us something special. But anyway, going into Predator Badlands, you're following this outcast of a predator who is from his own planet called Yoncha Prime, and he's the outcast of his own clan, and he's cast out. But then he's on a planet that is very deadly around him, and now he's going to have to fight a Kelzak, who is an apex predator that is unkillable. Yeah, this was a great concept that Dan Trachtenberg wanted to switch up and make this Predator more of the protagonist. He's the one that stands out than the others. He wants to earn his way back into the clan again after being cast out. And I won't give away too much with the plot point of how that went down, but after coming out of this theater, I freaking loved this movie. This exceeded the expectations. I really loved the writing, the story, the action, the cinematography was beautifully filmed. The planet that Deck, who is the outcast of the Predator, who is the protagonist, that planet felt very living world. It's beautiful, but it's also deadly at the same time. And you see him observing and learning about this planet and learn how to adapt and learn how to survive. And he comes across with this synthetic android played by Elle Fanny, who is part of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, which now that they made this canon and make it part of the Alien franchise, she's now very damaged, and now she's the only one that could be able to help him to fight this creature, and now they're on a quest. This is more of like a buddy movie if you really think about it, and I loved it. I loved the banter between the two of them. It felt natural. Elle Fanning, every time she's on screen, she completely steals the spotlight. She has a lot of character depth. They don't really go too far with the silliness. There's a lot of humor, a lot of silly moments, but it really worked, and it felt natural and authentic. And yes, they made this Predator Deck more of a real character. They gave him so much character depth. The first 20 minutes when we're on his planet, exploring a little bit about his story and how they set that up, they did it perfectly. And I thought it was so good. They do kind of expand upon the lore of the Yoncha Prime of this home world a little bit, but I thought it was great how they were able to set up the lore and the mythology. And in the beginning, Dan Trachtenberg, the director of the film, recently went out in an interview that his original pitch for Predator Badlands was that what if this predator wins? What if he fights the Nazis and actually wins? And they thought, like, you know what? We're not going to repeat the cycle and making it as a slasher movie. We want this to be they want this to be unique and different. And I'm glad that they were able to switch it up and make Deck more of the protagonist that stands out more than the others. And a lot of people online, people bitch and complain and trying to compare, like, this is not what a predator would do. This is not blah blah blah. Dude, there's millions of his own kind. Yeah, most of them follow the code by hunting down the killers and hunting down the strongest, and that's always been their code. And for this one, they wanted to do something different that can break the cycle of the code and try to bring the humanity of the character. And that's what I like about it, that Dan Trachtenberg tries to do something new and unique and not making it to like rinse and repeat of every Predator movie that we've seen many times before. He's expanding and he's trying to give us something new, and I loved it. He added so much gravitas. They made him out to be more of the anti-hero of the story, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Sure, there's gonna be people bitched about the whole design of the Predator, but you know what? Not every Predator of his own species look the same. They're not gonna be identical. They're always gonna look different from one another. I mean, people need to get over it and grow up and just judge the movie for what it is. If you don't like it, that's fine. But for making some stupid, dumb comparison, it's just ridiculous to me. But anyway, going back to this movie, I love how it was a lived-in world. I love that it was I love the music score. It felt like we were taken back to the 1980s style. It is vastly entertaining. And this is a movie where you don't have to require a homework assignment to watch the previous Predator movie or the Alien movie to understand what's going on. It doesn't try to rely on what came before. Sure, there are a few little homages to the hardcore fans that followed the movies, but it's not going to get you lost and make you clueless. You can still go in completely blind without knowing anything, and you can still be on board with the story from beginning to end. Sure, there are a couple of my negatives. I will say that there were some CG sequences that I feel like they needed a little bit of work on some certain creatures, and I wish we would have gotten a little bit more time on his home planet, the Yuja Prime. I wish we would have got a little bit more time on that planet, but it was not enough to take me out of the movie. They set up his Deck's story perfectly in the first 20 minutes. I love how they did it in the first 20 minutes, and then it cuts to the title card, and it was great. Dan Trachtenberg is so creative. He has so much great ideas to what he wants to do in the franchise, especially Alien and Predator. And I love the idea that this movie is not going to have any humans in the movie. Sure, you may have seen some people that look like humans, but there are actually synthetic androids that were brought by the Utah Whaling Corporation because they're on a mission of their own to collect a supplement species samples. That's what their task is. They do play a big pivotal role in the movie, especially Elle Fanny's character, and it never take away Deck's arc. It blended in perfectly, and I will say that the plot twist in the movie in the third act, I kind of saw that coming from a mile away. I kind of suspected it, and I kind of put two and two together, but I won't give away what it is. You'll probably know what I'm talking about. And the line that he did at the end of near the end of the movie, before the movie ends, that oh god, that line he said, I won't say what it is, but if you know, you know, that blew my mind. Overall, this is definitely one of the best films of the year. This is hands down the best Predator movie since the original film. I still say that the original film was better, but I still think it was worthy of this installment of the franchise. I loved it. This is a movie you've got to go and see in theaters. Yes, it's a PG-13 movie. I get that. But the reason why that Dan Trachtenberg wanted to do a PG-13 rating, because he's not bringing in humans in the movie. So that's why you're not going to see a lot of blood and gore and having a graphic. And don't get me wrong, the action is so freaking well choreographed. And when he tries to take on the apex predator called Kelsek, it felt like you're watching a God of War gameplay come to life. And it's not a bad thing. It really worked. Visually it worked, camera work, the choreography was awesome, very visceral. It was still graphic. They got away with a lot of the violence in the movie, even though it's not like gonna have humans where you're gonna see a lot of blood and gore and blood splatter in that movie. It's not gonna be one of them. But it still kicks ass. It's still fucking amazing. Again, I can't say this enough. You gotta go and rush out and see it in theaters, whether it's in Dolby or IMAX. You're gonna have a great time in the theater because this is a PG-13 movie, so you could definitely take the kids to go see this in the theater. I mean, yeah, it's not a family-friendly movie. It's still for adults, of course, but this is something you could take everybody to go see, really, and you're gonna have a great entertainment. It's gonna feel like we were taken back to the old school 1990s or 80s action film. Sure, sure it's not going to replicate the original film. It will never be what as it was from the original film because it was perfect. But this was like near worthy of this whole franchise, and I loved it. This is the best Predator movie since the original film. I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Look, once I watch this movie again, my ratings might go up, and I feel like that the more I watch it, the more I really appreciate it. And it does a good job of setting up the sequel, which I'm hoping that the box office can track very well. I hope it does. I hope that more people will go out and support this movie. And I wouldn't be surprised that they're going to do another sequel to Badlands. I think that Dan Trachtenberg is the right guy, and I think it's in good hands for the director himself. But anyway, what did you think of Predator Badlands? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this review, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so you know when my videos are up. And if you want to follow my social media links like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, the link tree will be down in the description down below. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from, and stay tuned for more of my content.